Welcome back to my Excel videos and tutorials on pivot tables. I'm trying a different format than I had before. I'm going to try talking with you, try to make it a little more interactive and engaging. Maybe you like my voice, maybe you don't. Let me know. So what I'm going to show here is a data set and show you kind of a couple of things that I like to do with pivot tables. And I'm going to keep it high level. If you want a video about how to do this, we can go further into detail. But we'll get into it now. So you'll see this column lookup. So let's pretend that my problem and my request is that somebody needs to see the first transaction for each of these employees. Well, the easiest way I've found to do this is to create a lookup column and then create a pivot table. Now, if you're newer to pivot tables, this might not work as well, but I do think that once you get the hang of it, it works fantastically. Reason being is it's kind of a quick, easy cheat to get what you need. So you can see I'm just kind of creating a pivot table. I'm putting in a date. I'm actually going to move that date and I'm going to make it the minimum. That will present to you the very first. And then we're going to come back to our original data. We'll do a VLOOKUP off of the two columns that we added with the concatenation. And from there, you see only where it matches do we get results. And if we want to present this, all we have to do is create another pivot table. We can use this min date now as our filter. We just unselect NA, which means it didn't match, didn't find a value. We bring that in, and then we can show some of the measures associated. And when I say measures, I mean like costs, sales, things that you might want to measure. And given that we know that there's only going to be one row, it's going to be best to remove your subtotals and then display it in this format. So now we have this nice, quick, easy way to get results for the minimum date or the first transaction an employee made. And for future use, let's just name it first trans. So another good utilization, or at least in my opinion, of pivot tables is displaying data in aggregate. So we'll create a quick pivot table. Whoops. Everybody messes up from time to time. And so now we'll say we want to see it by months. Then we want to say we want to see sales. Sales by month, and then maybe sales by product by month. So this is what I would call a crosstab. It's just showing you the numbers. Figures only, and that's it. Well, what's nice about this is I can display this aggregate data, and then I can quickly create a chart because I already kind of have my data how I want it. Right, so now we'll create a pivot chart. It'll show us kind of recommended pivot charts. Let's throw one in there, and we will drag it right above. So now we have a visualization along with the numbers below it. Now this visualization looks a little weird, so what we'll do is we will actually create a separate one, a separate chart and separate pivot table. So I think this makes more sense. And given the differences in sales, right? So you can see disinfectant, masks, toilet paper are selling much higher. We'll leave that be for now, but what we'll do is we'll take this pivot table right here, throw a copy of it below, hide the rows those exist in, and then move months, put product, move dates. So now we have a pivot table and a graph that are essentially formatted the same way. I can quickly say January, okay, great, well, now I have January numbers. February, February numbers. So that, in my opinion, gives great utilization. Just this little simple visualization we have here, it can tell you a good amount of information. So you can tell you toilet paper is making a lot more sales, or at least the numbers are much higher with toilet paper. Maybe the margin is bigger in mass and disinfectant, but we do know at least revenue is greater with toilet paper. We can see a trend starting to form. So we see growth through June. That's our top month, and then we see a downtrend towards the end of the year until December. That was interesting. That is not an error coming from on this sheet. This, I think, is the best way to start working and displaying data, is start coming up with these problems for yourselves or these requests that you might have or might come across, and trying to display them. Now, if you're not in a data analyst role, if you're not in a business analyst role, it's also useful and still useful. So like there's plenty of things where you might get numbers and you want to see it quick, right? It took me 4 minutes to do multiple things with pivot tables. Well, if you are a manager and you want to see how much time people are spending, well, if you get the data and it's sent over to you, you can do a quick pivot table and throw a chart so you can see, let's say Monday through Friday, it's taking X number of hours to accomplish these tasks. It's just a quick, easy, valuable way to get information in a digestible manner. I think that's really all I have to say about it. I can go much more into detail with the particulars or creating things or how to create stuff, but I thought a good overview of why pivot tables are valuable was due and should come out. So if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. Let me know what you think, and have a great day.